On the matter of toll roads, this is something else where Patrick Brown has tried to throw this into the Premier's lap and suggest that she's the one who could actually put this out of reach of John Tory by just not allowing him the legal right to impose toll roads. And in fact, some have suggested, Giorgio Mammoliti at this time on the program yesterday was saying, write your MPP if you're not in favor, and the folks, here in Toronto, the 416 or the 905, and implore them not to vote for it. Now, some councillors who are positioned on the right of the political spectrum have voted in favor of. Jon Burnside is my councillor, and he's one of them, and he's joined us on the line to explain why that is. How you doing tonight, John?
Not too bad, thanks, John.
So you voted, and this was almost an overwhelming vote at council at this time last night in favor of toll roads. Help me out here. There are some people who think that we've already paid for this, or we're paying through our gas taxes and so on and so forth. Another imposition at this time, with the cap and trade thing coming in. I don't need to give you the litany of ways that we're being pecked to death by sparrows, as I call it. Why'd you vote in favor?
Well, first of all, it's just to take those next steps to see if it does make sense. And of course, as your counselor, I do have some concerns about traffic getting off the highway or not using the highway and cutting through the neighborhood. That being said, we have huge capital projects that we need to get done. And quite frankly, one of them is the Gardiner. That's billions of dollars. And I am a fiscal conservative, but I also realize that if you want to do these things, you have to pay for them.
Wait a minute. When you say billions of dollars, John, what is it, the billions? We were talking to Sue Ann Levy last night, and she was saying, well, it's like $7 million to resurface this Gardiner. And
that's just the plate. That's just the resurfacing. But the whole thing, the East End needs to be totally rebuilt, and that's over, I believe it's like $2.6 billion and escalating. So I'm not sure.
That's the hybrid model you're talking about. Okay.
Correct. And, so I am in favor of that. The reality is the province has cut their funding. They've cut the housing funding by about $130 million a year. That's absolutely a battle we need to have, but we also need to get on with building transit or whatever the case is. So we need to find funds, and there are only a few ways to do that. No one wants to sell off Toronto Hydro, so do you raise property taxes, or do you do things like tolling the highways? And I use the DVP daily, so if I'm willing to pay, that's the first step for me, is I have to be willing to pay it as well.
Well, okay. You're saying councillors are going to do something symbolic that shows that they're very much understanding of the plight of the beleaguered taxpayer. Maybe if councillors had colluded and said, we can cut about half of our members, and that might send a strong signal to the rest of the constituents that we're really serious about economizing. How about stuff like that? Because this is the argument I'm making, John. I don't believe that this council has this social permission or the moral authority anymore. They're seemingly people are soured on these people's abilities to be responsible overseers of the taxpayers' money.
Well, I absolutely, you can talk about symbolic things, and cutting council or cutting the budgets, which, I'm totally in favor of cutting the office budget. I run a very lean operation, about $15,000 a year. That's great, but you still need to collect billions of dollars to build subways or highways. Now, when you talk about the gas tax, absolutely, but the majority of that goes to the province and or the federal government. So,
well, how come we can't repatriate the bulk of that then? Where's the problem in doing that?
Well, because basically we're a creation of the province, so we're the junior player here,
right?
So it's a matter of we're constantly begging, and they've got, as you know, and as you've aptly pointed out, the Premier has her own financial issues, and the feds aren't a whole lot better. So
but she requires Toronto to go for her if she wants to retain power. This party, don't we have some leverage here?
Well, it doesn't seem like we've had that leverage in the last 16 years.
Well, she's on the ropes now. If there's ever a point to press an advantage, I would think it'd be about now. But that would take the will of council to see it in that light, and I'm not sure they do. This is the argument I'm making. I'm not indicting you per se. I'm just saying it seems to me this council has lost the moral standing to be imposing more taxes because people look at the profligate ways they've been operating with pet projects and all kinds of silliness. It's like we hate to give them money. If you can make a compelling case and these people were honorable, we'd say, okay, we'll buy in. That's a bargain that's a social covenant we're willing to enter into.
Well, and absolutely. I mean, there's the operational side, and I've been hammering about that. I mean, the fact we've seen just a report from the Fraser Institute of how public servants take an extra, on average, 4 to 5 personal days per year. They're compensated 11% more than the private sector. So those are all things, and we can talk about the TTC. That's on the operating side. But on the capital side, to build the subway, you're talking about $3.6 billion. Now, that being said, Patrick Brown, if he wants to pony up and make that money available like Ms. Horvath has offered, then that's, the debate changes. Tolls probably wouldn't be fully implemented till 2024. So we're just asking for a report about the feasibility and the direction that may or may not take. I think we need to keep all our options open. Absolutely, I will be pressing to have some sort of framework. My big concern about council, and I think you'll agree, is that we always seem to want to step into the breach. So if the feds or the province pull away from daycare, we want to do it. Or if they're pulling away from some other pet project, well, then city council takes it on, and that has to stop. We need to have a proper framework. Who's paying for what, who's responsible for what, and then we can be properly judged on our performance. Right now, it's a game of, hey, look over there.
By the way, if city councillors are using the DVP or the Gardiner, are they going to pay out of their own pockets?
Well, I'll be paying, so I think it'll be hard to get any sort of an exemption for us on that one.
Okay. Well, like you say, it's still a ways off, and this might be an ace that Patrick Brown can play to recruit some votes here in Toronto from taxpayers who are fed up and feel that they've really hit the wall. And I've heard from them. I mean, I sit here in the catbird seat, John, every night, and people are complaining, saying this is like another indignity visited upon them. So take that under advisement. I appreciate your joining us, though, and explaining where you're coming from.
Thanks, John. I appreciate the opportunity.
As always, Jon Burnside, City Councillor, Ward 26.